from the Second Age of Reason. I'm here to say a few words about that video on Wikileaks known as Collateral Murder. I watched the whole thing and I found it rather disturbing. I think every American should watch it, even though Senator Lieberman would think it would be better left censored and not published at all. I think it would be required so that you would know what war is and what war is doing and what your taxpayer money does every day. My take on it is I don't think those people knew that they were being hunted down in such a manner. They did not seem to be aware that they were being watched from the sky. And if they were combatants in any way, shape, or form, they might have noticed that aircraft and had taken cover or had taken different positions to not be as vulnerable. So I almost wonder if it was invisible in some way. And then they opened fire. Why? Because they may have had weapons and felt threatened. Well, if they were in an aircraft of a fair amount of power, they could have just flown away, couldn't they? But no, they hung around and waited for the right moment to pounce. And so the question comes, was the response proportionate to the threat? That's the question. And as well, they probably were very uptight, as you could hear from their conversation going back and forth, trying to get authorization because they think they saw weapons. So this brings to mind a song from a musical from like South Pacific. I believe it was called "The Children Must Be Properly Taught," and basically is about teaching children how to hate. And so that's sort of a disturbing thing. What have they been taught? And will they take that with them even after they leave the service? Next is the munitions used. I was just curious if they were using steel bullets, aluminum bullets, lead bullets, or spent uranium nuclear fuel bullets. Because if it was, the powder and the fallout would be spread by the wind, not just through Iraq or Iran or Asia, but all around the world, eventually coming back to us. So I don't think that would be a good thing. The other question is, don't people have the right to keep and bear arms to defend themselves in self-defense? Even in other countries, don't you think that would be, a natural, unalienable right given by the Creator? And so then comes also the question about authorization. There was all this going back and forth about permission to engage. Reminds me of a child game I used to play, Captain May I? And then, of course, if it ever came to the questioning part, they would say they followed the rules of engagement. They followed the procedures. They would say, we were only following orders. Yes. And then that leads up to chain of command. And then who does it ultimately become responsible? Well, in 2007, you know who the commander-in-chief is. And now in 2010, you also know who a commander-in-chief is. And does this go on every day? Every day for how many years? And how many thousands of people? So that's the question. We should probably be writing our Congress about this because our taxpayer dollars are paying for it. And it goes on and on. And I want you to think about this in terms of your Second Amendment rights. That if the tables were turned at any point, that we had to have the military back here in America. Lastly, and this is for the libertarians and constitutionalists who like to talk about their right to keep and bear arms. As you heard in the video, they were just waiting to find some sign of weapon. Anything. And once they had the weapon, they went and they asked for permission to engage. And that was the grounds for engagement. Now, granted, that's in a different country under different circumstances, but if it would ever be here, you may exercise your right, your Second Amendment right, but you may be deemed worthy to be engaged. Is any different or any better? Time to write to your government, or else they may deem you worthy of being engaged. Boy, that word will never be the same to me again. Be seeing you.